What's up everyone, Blade here, and welcome back to another video of Persona 5 The Phantom X. Inside today's video, guys, we're going to be going ahead and looking at Chord here and going over the reactions of what she can do. Now, I'm mainly just going to be looking at the buffs and seeing what actually she has there for symbols and seeing exactly what happens. Everything, though, is going to be inferred, seeing that it has not been translated just yet, and hopefully she has some cool animations. But without further ado, hopefully you guys do enjoy it. I'm going to make sure y'all can hear everything as well. And with that on out of the way, let's go ahead and just see what happens. So, there we go. Still such a beautiful character. Such a beautiful character. So that's per usual. I'm pretty sure we're getting a new side story with this. Kind of how we had like Me and them. Should get a new side story. She already has her synergy, so I highly doubt it's anything else being added. But it would be cool if we get something else extra too. Ooh, we do have some translations, so we will actually talk about that a little bit. Just a little bit. Oh, what the heck? Oh no, the P5 Fest type deal is happening. Not 3D animated ones. We're doing kind of like the storyboards. I mean, I don't really mind it. It's still nice, but like, I want more of the 3D. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's kind of saddening. But all right, let's see what happens. Dun, dun, dun. All right, let's see what happens here. So she apparently is a person that has a core passive that can control highlights. So that's awesome. Reduce all allies highlight cooldown by 1, in which they're unable to use normal methods of highlight gauge. So that's interesting. Ooh, that's a nice looking animation. That looks nice. Okay, when her turn starts, she uses that special skill, and it allows all allies to use highlight without using energy. Ooh. Ooh, those are cool. That was all the first skill too, so it has like a weird little follow-up attack. Okay, so skill 1 has a follow-up. That's the big boy move. Okay, highlight. Nice, and it has like a little booster. Wonder what the weapon does. That is a beautiful looking weapon. I love the color change for at least the Persona 2. Just very little cute little animations. It's nice. We do have some skill translations thanks to the worldwide Discord as well, so I'm going to be reading some of those as well, but we'll go back and read it. AOA? Oh, and it plays like the little chords and stuff. That's nice. That's awesome. That's really cool. All right, so that's it. So let's go back real quick, just to check some things. So of course, new side story. I don't know if I'm really too happy about the little storyboard side, this thing here. A lot of people weren't very happy with the P5 Fest thing. I liked it actually, but I don't know if I like it just coming all the time around here like this. So that's kind of interesting to see how that's gonna go. But she of course is a wind sweeper. We already knew that. It's pretty darn awesome. And as I said before, her core passive is allowing her to control all allies highlight usage and reduce all allies highlight cooldown by 1, which they're unable to use the normal method of using highlight gauge in the means of battle. And so that's going to be kind of interesting to see how that works. Though when their turn hits, by using her special skills, all your allies are able to use their highlight without using energy. Now that's an interesting tie of things because it's something that you normally just wouldn't see, and that's all with the core passive that's just going along with her here. And apparently whenever she exists on the field, the highlight energy cap increases, so she does increase your highlight energy cap as well. And you gain something called Star Wishes after using the highlight, which enhances her skill. Now, pretty cool. I think that's pretty awesome. It does look like she's gonna have a different approach upon using the character themselves and actually using the teams. So I am very interested to see how that's gonna work. And this is a little look into the special skill, of course, that she ends up doing, which seems like everyone out now has their like highlights here as well. But then we have the skill 1, which the skill 1 itself, it has the animation looking like this. And from what's been translated thus far, keep in mind this is people translating this right now inside of the Discord. The skill 1, it has the tags of active AoE. And what it does is it deals AoE wind damage. Using it, you unleash a domain of which permanently increases your own damage dealt and recovers a huge amount of highlight points. After unleashing said domain, this skill cannot be used. So it's much like where we have Win Mont, where she uses her skill 3 and that triggers like the little domain area, and you can't use that move anymore. Now you have to use like skill 1 or skill 2. So she's using like her skill 1 that triggers the domain, boom, can't be used anymore. And this domain deals AoE wind damage to enemies before her turn ends, which is viewed as follow-up attack damage, which was the whole reason why we saw the first attack and then this happens. So essentially, after you do the first attack, it is going to do the follow-up attack, which is going to deal a lot of damage as well, which is pretty darn cool. I do like the look of that. Looks pretty cool. And then we have the second skill, still tagged as active AoE. This one deals AoE wind damage, gives her a stack, and this stack lasts for a few turns. The stack allows her to recover any additional fixed amount of highlight energy. So she recovers the highlight energy even more so. And after using this skill for the first time, it will immediately trigger highlight energy recovery effect from that one stack. So she starts to give the highlight energy back, which is where we see this here, where she pops a skill 2, she does some damage, and you see that we get a stack. That stack is then going to allow her to recover more of the highlight energy. And that's kind of interesting to see how that plays on out here, in which I'm pretty sure the skill 3 is going to work into that a little bit as well, which we have to wait for the skill 3 for a second because they're still translating that. But based on the skill 1 and skill 2, she seems pretty cool. She has a very interesting gimmick. The question is like, how does it come together? Because with the skill 3, if we just go off the animation, right, she kind of takes the, I'm guessing, the stack that she ends up having. She takes that said stack, uses it, and it does a bunch of damage. Now, this is obviously going to be the big boy damage move, and that's going to help you out with multiple hits of it. And here it is, translated right here. Skill 3, tags, is an active AoE move. It deals multiple instances of AoE wind damage, consumes all of your Star Wishes, which is, I'm guessing, this little stack that we end up getting here, consumes those, and of which each stack that is consumed unleashes an additional instance of domain follow-up attack. So you get additional follow-up attack off of this. When Star Wishes are now consumed and it reaches a certain amount, the damage from the additional instances of follow-up attack is increased. So pretty much how it goes, you're always going to use your skill 1 first. Boom, the skill 1 pops off, you get the domain. Domain now, anything that happens in that domain is viewed as a follow-up damage move whenever there's like the extra AoE damage, which is what we saw, right? The skill 2, it gives you the stack that you do need. You have to do this. So this character seems like more of a 1-2-3 character for the rotation. Obviously, she's going to get a bunch of highlight energy back from the skill 2. She does deal damage off of it as well, meaning she can use the skill 2 for our highlight gain. Then we have the skill 3, which is where, all right, we got everything up, we got our stacks up, we have everything that we want. Big boy damage, multiple hits, which we saw this as it hit the enemy. She has this little star, little wand, shoots these stars from her persona, of course, and it does multiple different instances of damage. Once that does happen, of course, consumes all your wishes that you end up having beforehand. I'm not sure how many times we're going to stack that, so we'll have to see how that does in the game. Takes all of those stacks, uses it, does this follow-up damage, which is pretty darn cool. So I think that's pretty awesome. I want to know exactly what they're going to go with it and what's going to happen next with it. The highlights what I'm interested in as well, because the highlight itself seems like it's more of a highlight booster. It doesn't seem like it's a thing that is giving you extra damage or anything. It seems like you're able to get highlight from it. So kind of interested in seeing how that's going to work. I have to wait until they get that translated as well, because we're not going to have everything translated. I'm just trying to get the kit translated, and then we'll have to look at the weapons and stuff later. But okay, here it is. Highlight itself consumes at least 100% of your highlight energy to gain 1-star wish stack, and it increases the crit damage of the domain's follow-up attack every few turns, or at least for a few turns. So that's interesting as well, because then you have to use the highlight someplace around this just to make sure your domain is getting the extra damage too. But after using 100% of your highlight energy, she then gains an additional Star Wish stack for every 50% highlight energy used. Okay, so that's the reason why she wants to highlight so much. When she uses it, obviously she's able to get more of this stack here, and the crit damage she gains from this, it goes into the follow-up attack damage. It is further improved for a few turns. Now, if you repeatedly use this highlight, it does not stack the crit damage boost, but at least you know you're getting an additional star stack, and that it does help you out a little bit for your crit damage, which is always great. That's pretty cool. She is a highlight-based DPS. She's giving me feels of, what is it called? Of Closer Radiance. Closer Radiance was able to manipulate a lot of her highlight statuses and move around her highlight or not use her highlight gauge. This one is using the highlight gauge. Pretty darn cool to see how that works. Then we have the weapon. Now, the weapon is the last thing I'm going to talk about because, of course, the awarenesses are going to get a little bit crazy. I'll have a follow-up video on that as well, where weapon itself, crit rate is now being increased. That is what's on here as of now. After domain is unleashed, own crit damage is now permanently increased. So she gets a crit damage amount that is going only for her. And after using your own highlight, follow-up attack damage dealt is increased for a few turns as well. So follow-ups are getting boosted, your crit damage getting boosted. It's already a win type situation because of course it has crit rate as the main stat and it gives you crit damage. I like that crit rate is the main stat because that means even less crit rate we have to really go for, and everything else is just going for crit damage itself, and we can just funnel that all into crit damage. So pretty interesting. She can only use her highlight mainly on her own turn, it seems like, so that is kind of interesting. But the real question is, I wonder how her team is really going to look. What Navi will she end up running with is more my question. But I think that's all I'm really going to talk about for this one. I'll have another video going over the what's it called, the awarenesses. I almost forgot to talk about one of the passives itself as well. The damage from a domain in one of her passives, and she's able to increase said damage as long as the domain is active, and she dispels a buff from enemies. So that's also pretty darn cool. But that's about it. That's all I got right now. I don't want to at least take up a lot of you guys' time, so let me know how y'all feel about it. Until next time, everybody, stay safe, stay sharp. Peace. Now, originally, I was not going to leave this inside the video, but they ended up translating the passive too, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys this as well. Her attack increases when an ally uses a highlight or a Thurgy for a few turns. This can stack, so now we know both the passive 1 and the passive 2, but I didn't want to go ahead and wait to the awarenesses. I'll have a video on the awarenesses tomorrow, so look forward to that. But I do got to go to sleep because it is 11:18 and I got stuff to go to. So peace out, you guys.